Well, with 17 studio albums, soon to be 18, an army of loyal followers, iconic costumes and show-stopping performances. Erasure are the 80s musical legends who stood the test of time. Well, now Andy Bell and Vince Clarke are back with a classical style album and they are embarking on a tour. We'll be talking to them in a moment. But first, let's remind ourselves of some of their greatest hits. All the hits. Well, I'm pleased to say Andy Bell and Vince Clarke are with us now. Welcome to the programme. It's great to see you. How are you? How are you?
Thank you.
Come and take a seat. Lovely to meet you too. Now, do you two ever slow down? 18 albums and a tour?
We've slowed down once, I think.
When was that?
In the mid-90s. Yeah.
18 albums, that's fantastic. Yeah. Why do you keep going?
It's just this, you know, we still get a huge amount of satisfaction of making something that's artistic and making something from nothing. And also we have the, you know, incredible following of fans, so it's good to keep them happy.
It's obvious that you love what you do. Do you think you'll do this forever?
I think so. I think I'd quite like to drop down dead on stage. Actually, I don't mean like, I don't mean soon, but
yeah, not
you know,
the next.
No, right at the end. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a listen, a little bit of your new album, which is coming back before we talk about it.
And it's a bitter parting with such sweet sorrow, but I guess we'll be just fine. And I wish us all a fond farewell, but just don't look back in time.
It's a stripped-back classical take on your last album. Why did you decide to do something a bit different this time?
I think the nature of the last album just kind of lends itself to the orchestral versions. Because when Vince was first started working on the music for the album, I thought it sounded quite like a film soundtrack. And
is that good or a bad thing?
No, that's good. I was thinking like, oh God, you know, how am I going to put lyrics to this or sing to this, because it sounded almost like it was done already, and it was Vince's idea to do the orchestral versions.
And does your music now reflect more of what's going on in the world socially and politically? Is that part of the plan?
I think it's bound to, you know. I mean, there's so much kind of social and political upheaval right now. But, you know, it's a good time for lyricists.
Andy, you have had your fair share of, I know you just talked about dropping dead on stage, but you've had 2 hips replaced, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you still keep going. How does that affect you on stage?
Well, it doesn't affect me at all. I mean, you know, I had them done in 2005, one after the other, and a few people come up to me, like ballet dancers and people that have to have the same thing done, and I said, well, just do it, you know, while you're young, because it's a great. I had no idea up to the run of when they were breaking down. It was this thing called avascular necrosis. It's when the blood supply doesn't get to the top of the bone, and so they start crumbling. So it's a really gradual thing, so you don't really notice, and your mind just gets used to the pain. So I noticed I was kind of like holding on to tables to walk around and stuff, you know. And we were my costume for that tour was like really trussed up with corsets and stuff. I didn't realise it was literally holding me up, you know. So when I had the replacement done, it was just like going back to scratch, like back to normal. Being able to walk was amazing.
And some of our younger viewers may not know that in the late 90s you went public with your HIV diagnosis and helped change people's perceptions of what it means to live with HIV. How are you doing now?
Well, I hope so. You know, it's you know, in the beginning it was really scary because it was kind of you know, in the early stages in the late 80s, it was kind of you know, not many people survived, and we had to, you know, really fight for our rights and fight to kind of get research into HIV and stuff, and not make it like a kind of a pariah illness, you know, make the perception of it, and that it can happen to anybody. And, you know, I feel completely blessed because me and my then partner, we lost so many friends and people. And even though it took me a while to get used to it in my own mind, I just thought, well, you know, Vince knows I've always been like a heart on the sleeve kind of person.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to put my cards on the table and say, hey, this is what's going on.
Were you surprised at how people reacted at the time?
I was really surprised. I mean, our profile wasn't really that high, was it, at that time, you know, and but I was quite surprised. I was expecting more of a kind of roller coaster, and it didn't really happen, you know. I was quite taken aback with the amount of love and that came from it, you know.
And how do you, I mean, you've been through so much together, how do you feel about ageing in this industry?
Well, I don't know.
Well, it's
I mean, it
kind
doesn't
of...
seem to affect your career. You have this huge fan base, you keep going, you're still making the hits.
I think it's probably easier on men, I don't know, you know, but I think when you're in the entertainment industry or the media, everybody just wants to look fresh, you know, or they want you to look fresh for the camera, and I think it's kind of like, I mean, Botox is fine and stuff, and, you know, I think anything it's just to make you feel good, I think is...
Well, just be happy in yourself. Everybody's different.
Be happy in yourself.
If it works for you. And what can we expect from this tour?
Well, it's quite an extensive tour. Most of the shows were sold out in the UK, which is amazing. And it'll be some theatricals, a bit of dancing from him.
Obviously.
Yeah, and me looking stoned.
It's an hour and a half, the show.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've kind of set it in the Hamburg red light district. Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to see it. Thank you very much for joining us today. Good luck with the new album launch. BBC Newsroom Live is coming up next. Thank you for your company today. Have a great day.